on war zone. Hitler's dead. Germany has surrendered, and thousands of Nazi scientists await their fate.
So what the hell do you suggest we do?
Well, we can't just leave them here. I mean, we're not talking about a couple of Mensa candidates. We're talking about recruiting more than 1,000 of the most brilliant minds the world has ever seen.
Who also perpetrated the most ungodly war crimes in all of history. I'm not sure how we explain that to the American people.
We start by explaining we don't want these fuckers to become a viable war power in the future. Then we explain what happens when the Soviets get their hands on them. We're not duping America, we're protecting her.
Which is exactly what these amoral opportunists are counting on you to say. We can't just ignore their blatant disregard for human life.
Jewish human life. Is that an oxymoron?
Gassing women and children, sewing twins together to see if they could be conjoined. Oh, and my personal favorite, starving them and forcing them to only drink seawater. And now you're suggesting with a straight face that we just, hide them in America.
You bet your ass I am. Imagine you were a soldier, Howard, and your platoon comes across a loaded Luger belonging to a dead Nazi. Do you bury the gun in the sand because you hated its owner? Or do you pick it up and use it against your enemy? Make no mistake about it. These men's minds are weapons. Can we really afford to bury them in the sand when our enemies could pick them up and use them against us?
Yep, that shit really happened.